Welcome to Shujin Academy VGM Club. I'm Professor Tom, your faculty sponsor. Today's opening track is Mega Picross from Picross E7, one of the 3DS entries for the Picross franchise of nonogram puzzle games. Picross is one of the things that I do when I'm feeling particularly anxious, and the mainline series games tend to have very calm music like that song you just heard. It is winter, and I'm still recovering from the sabbatical that caused me to bring in a special guest host for our last episode. To try and ease myself back into the rhythm of VGM podcasting, this episode is the 7th entry in the Chilly McFreeze series of calm game music playlists that all have names somehow related to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Our first block consists entirely of songs from Super Famicom games that never saw a North American release, and 4 out of 5 of them are from JRPGs, because the beginning of Japan's lost decade saw this genre create 29% of the nation's economic value. At least, that's what the eternally reliable ChatGPT tells me, and if you can't trust an LLM, who can you trust? Anyway, the first thing we'll hear is Newly Settled Town from Energy Breaker, a game that's related to the Lufia series and that I featured prominently back in episode 59, along with a handful of other soundtracks. This is a warm, welcoming song, and composer Yukio Nakajima has spent most of his career working on games like this one. You're probably not a reader of VGM Aficionado magazine, because that's a thing I just made up, but if it was real, it surely would have done a feature on Motoi Sakuraba, composer for multiple games in the Tales series and several Mario sports titles. He's also composed several entries in the Star Ocean series, and our second song is Ambition from the very first Star Ocean game. The third song takes us to another long-running JRPG franchise with Shopping from Ys 5, Lost Kefin, Kingdom of Sand, composed by Falcom Sound Team JDK members Naoki Kaneda, Satoshi Arai, and Atsushi Shirakawa. Generally, Falcom games are more recognized for their rocking tracks, but this is a fine shop theme that gets my guard down so that I can purchase some consumer goods. We're going for a swim in the fourth track, because the game is Bahamut Lagoon, and the song is Aqui-Land Mahaaru, composed by Noriko Matsueda. Matsueda spent 8 years at Square before leaving the world of game music, and Bahamut Lagoon was one of only 2 games where she is the sole credited composer. The other one is Front Mission 2. The finale of the block comes from Q-On Pa, the Super Famicom port of a game initially released from Microsoft Windows under the title of Endorphin. Composer Ken Kojima disregarded the original game's eccentric new age soundtrack for something that's much more in line with what you'd expect from a puzzle game, and just like making a traditional home-cooked meal, sometimes the conventional approach is the best. Take a deep breath. Now, let it out and listen. Those songs were Newly Settled Town from Energy Breaker, Ambition from Star Ocean, Shopping from East 5, Lost Kefin Kingdom of Sand, Aqui-Land Mahaaru from Bahamut Lagoon, and finally, Lonely Factory from Q-On-Pa. Like a lot of people in the VGM community, I really enjoy lo-fi hip-hop pioneer Nujabes, and I'm also fond of composer Masafumi Takada, who composed the Danganronpa games, and who was also a go-to composer for eccentric developer Suda51's Grasshopper Manufacture studio. Grasshopper Manufacture is best known for out there games like Killer 7 and No More Heroes, but they also took on a few licensed titles to pay the bills, and one of those was Samurai Champloo Sidetracked, a game based on the classic anachronistic samurai anime with a Nujabes soundtrack. The result of all of this is that there's a PS2 game with several songs from Masafumi Takada working in the style of Nujabes, and our second music block starts off with one of these songs, given the quite lengthy title of So That the Forms of Heavenly Maidens Linger Before Me Yet More. I've played songs from the Coffee Talk games on previous Chill Music episodes, and I'm pleased to revisit the Cozy Conversational Barista series on this episode with Silent Rains from the original Coffee Talk from composer Andrew Jeremy. If you haven't played these games, they're wholesome and calm, and they also let you make latte art, so give them a try. They're available on every modern platform, and the third game in the series is coming along in a few months. I've also played songs from the Persona franchise on just about every previous episode, chill and otherwise, and the third song in this block is from Persona 5 Tactica, the multi-platform tactical RPG spin-off of the original Persona 5, because that game has turned into a sub-franchise in its own right, much like Final Fantasy VII. The song we'll hear is Beneath the Mask Tactica, which is a lo-fi remix of one of the signature songs from the original Persona 5 soundtrack. It was composed by show favorite Shoji Meguro and arranged for Persona 5 Tactica by Toshiki Konishi. To continue this block's pseudo-theme of games we've heard from before, we'll hear Dusk from Valhalla, a game that shares some DNA with Coffee Talk, and also a game that feels disturbingly more relevant with each passing day. At least composer Garode gave us a soundtrack with some great music. If you haven't checked this game out, it's available for every system on the market, and I'll even gift a Steam download of Valhalla to the first person who asks me for one on social media. We bring our second block to a close with Windy City from Breath of Fire 3 for the PS1, an entry in Capcom's long-dormant JRPG series that really deserves some remasters. This is the theme for Windia, a wind-themed town that appears in most of the Breath of Fire games, and this song is from composers Akari Kaida and Yoshino Aoki. Get a warm cup of tea and check out all these tracks. Those songs were So That the Forms of Heavenly Maidens Linger Before Me Yet More from Samurai Champloo, Sidetracked, Silent Rains from Coffee Talk, Beneath the Mask Tactica from Persona 5 Tactica, Dusk from Valhalla, and finally, Windy City from Breath of Fire 3. Time for a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Morgana Mattress. I used to stay up too late and get only 5 hours of sleep a night, maybe even 6 on a good night. But then I got a Morgana mattress, and now I have to go to sleep on time, no matter what. A Morgana mattress just won't let you do anything at night except sleep. So if you want something that'll make you go to sleep, head to MorganaMattress.com and use promo code ProfessorTom to get 5% off your order. Now, back to the show. Just like almost everyone, I have a big game pile of shame. You know, all those games you've bought but haven't actually played yet. I do try to take games out of that pile from time to time, and the latest game I've pulled out is Fantasian, the JRPG from Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi that features a gorgeous Nobuo Uematsu soundtrack. Fantasian was originally an Apple Arcade exclusive, and it's since been ported to home consoles under the title Fantasian Neo Dimension. Both Sakaguchi and Uematsu have suggested that this might be the last game where they serve in lead roles, and we'll start our final block with a song called Frozen Tundra, because ice area songs are what you play on an episode called Chilly McFreeze. Keeping to the theme of classic JRPG composers, Block 2, Song 2 is Leaving the Body from beloved PS1 game Chrono Cross, composed by Yasunori Mitsuda. Everybody loves this soundtrack, and that's because it's very good, and this is a chill tune that fits perfectly into today's playlist. Similar to Coffee Talk, I've featured songs from the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games on multiple chill music episodes now, and the tradition continues with Time Gear from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time and Darkness from the Nintendo DS, composed by Arata Iyoshi, Hideki Sakamoto, Keisuke Ito, Kenichi Saito, and Yoshihiro Maeda. I like these soundtracks so much that I should probably sit down and give the actual games a try. For the penultimate song in the block, we'll hear Reminiscence from Xenoblade Chronicles, a game released for several latter-day Nintendo consoles that's part of the sprawling Xeno meta-series that also encompasses Xenogears and the Xenosaga games. Xenoblade Chronicles was scored by a team of composers led by Yoko Shimomura, but this song was composed by Manami Kiyota, whose work in the VGM world has been mostly limited to this game and its sequels. And ending the block, we'll hear a staff roll theme. Specifically, we'll hear Present from Thunder Force 3 for the Genesis. Soundtracks for the Thunder Force franchise are typically remembered for their rock tracks, but composer Toshiharu Yamanishi here lets us down gently as we exhale after our victory. Time to let go with these 5 songs. Those songs were Frozen Tundra from Fantasian, Leaving the Body from Chrono Cross, Time Gear from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time and Darkness, Reminiscence from Xenoblade Chronicles, and finally, Present, Staff Roll from Thunder Force 3. That is the show. If you want to reach me, I'm most active on Blue Sky as shujinacademy.bsky.social. You can also find me on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram as Shujin Academy VGM Club. Episodes of the show are posted to my YouTube channel, which you can find by searching for Shujin Academy VGM Club. Other links are on my Linktree at linktr.ee/Shujin Academy. Please leave me a 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're finding this episode. New episodes are released once or twice a month, depending on how often I get them done, and they premiere on Thursday mornings on your favorite podcatcher and on 8beats.co, the internet's #1 game music radio station. My show is also featured on TerraPlayer, the cool app that's a destination for gaming podcasts and other content, so you can check me out there. Finally, if you just can't get enough of me, I'm also voicing esports reporter Samson Escapades on audio drama podcast How Much in Bison Dollars, which you can find on FGC Radio, Patreon, and most podcatchers. Special thanks for this episode goes out to fellow VGM podcaster Jameson of Bar Silence Podcast for contributing cover art. You can and should find Bar Silence wherever you download podcasts, and check out his website at barsilence.com. Also, since you listened to this whole episode of Chill Tunes, check out his latest episode where he does a deep dive into the relaxing vaporwave-ish soundtrack for PS1 Hot Air Balloon Oddity Kaze no Notam. Thanks also go to all the fine, hard-working people who've ripped these tracks out of various video games. If you like these Chilly McFreeze episodes that I keep doing, you should check out Chillscape, an entire podcast devoted exclusively to Chill VGM, hosted by Aaron of the Super Ghost Podcast. You can find the website for it at chillscape.xyz, and it's available on most podcatchers that aren't Spotify, because Spotify is evil and they hate video game music. So, if you're listening to my show on Spotify, please make sure to have a backup plan in case they decide to pull this entire podcast. I've got one more song to play us out, and unlike normal, I'm going to play an arranged track. The original song is The Mines of Narshe from Final Fantasy VI, composed by Nobuo Uematsu, and the version we'll be hearing is called Now is the Winter from game music arrangement legend Mustin, who's been doing amazing things with VGM for decades on his own and as a part of several bands. If you like this track, you can find it on the OC remix album Final Fantasy VI Balance and Ruin, and also on Mustin's collection called Freebies for Streaming. Thank you for listening. I'm Professor Tom, and I'll see you next time on Shujin Academy VGM Club.